Dan, I am recovering slowly from a week in Augusta, Georgia. What'd you do all week?
Oh man, we were down in Florida watching Augusta, Georgia.
Ooh, the crowd was there. LIV Tour players were there. Congratulations to now world number one, Jon Rahm, the third Spaniard to win the green jacket behind Seve Ballesteros and Sergio Garcia, not necessarily in that order. I've got so much to talk about, man. I've got so much to download from my week at Augusta, Georgia, Sunday through Sunday. Let me tell you what will never do again, unless I'm playing, which I probably ain't going to be playing. I will never spend a Sunday through Sunday in Augusta, Georgia during the Masters. The one thing I can say is there was no shortage of lines in Augusta. You on the way to the course, you're waiting in a damn line. You get to the course, you're waiting in another line. You want to go take a piss, waiting in another. By the way, I heard Jon Rahm, he had to go 7 times. So say Brooks Koepka. So I got a lot of things that I want to get into here. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the obvious?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, why was Brooks Koepka counting how many times Jon Rahm pissed?
That's a good question. I'll tell you why, because he had nothing else to do. It wasn't like he was going to hit the ball. It wasn't like he was going to be able to hit the ball on Sunday. And these folks were probably so tired of glad handing each other. So I was there again, Sunday through Sunday. I saw a little bit of I saw a lot of every round, let's be honest. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, the LIV Tour players and the PGA players on the practice tee, on the practice green. You've got Zach Johnson, Ryder Cup captain this year. I mean, he's high-fiving Bubba. He's hugging Bubba Watson on the practice putting green. He's high-fiving Brooks Koepka. I'm sitting there on the practice tees watching Koepka come out, and Jon Rahm is just finishing up. Well, Koepka goes, or vice versa. Koepka was finishing up. He goes over to talk to Rahm, and hell, they probably talked for more than 5 minutes, high-fiving, slapping around, going after it, chumming. It's like, I think he was inquiring about Rahm's shoes, actually, because Travis, who's it? Travis Mathis, is that who makes the Quater shoe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the shoe choice of LIV. So I don't know if they're going to be. Sam Burns may not be able to wear those on the PGA Tour any longer. I don't know. Maybe he will. But I mean, those guys couldn't have, who it didn't surprise me, but who nobody said hi to that at least when I was around, nobody acknowledged him. And I want you to guess. I want you to guess who this is. By the way, if you're watching, who was your favorite player at this year's Masters tournament? Leave in the comment, like and review. Dan, who do you think that everybody was ignoring?
Pat Reed.
Well, okay, so I didn't see Patrick Reed on the practice tee, so I cannot confirm or deny that.
Phil.
No. Everybody was chumming it up with Phil. Even Sandy Lyle, who they didn't let finish. Maybe that's why they didn't let him finish, is because he didn't. I mean, they let Patrick Cantlay finish. I mean, good God, it wasn't like he's playing any lower than Sandy. No, Bryson DeChambeau.
Really?
Everybody was. Now, he was not engaging anyone either that I saw. Now, somebody may have saw. I wasn't following him around. It just so happened that he came over. He was there a few times while I was there, and I did not see any interaction with him other than, his caddy came out, set up in a location. Bryson went over to another location, setting up his TrackMan or whatever he has, his golf scope, and his caddy comes over and he goes, "Hey, we're over here. We talked about practicing right here." He's like, "Oh, okay, sorry." So he goes over. I don't. Maybe he's a little lightheaded. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight. So I cutting back on the protein shakes. Maybe he's drinking more coffee for wellness. I don't know, but. Let me say this. Bryson DeChambeau has yet to shoot a 68 at Augusta, Georgia. during the tournament.
That's par for him, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't this week. I think he shot a pair of 75s and missed a cut.
I think it's par for Sam Bennett too, isn't
it? I do hear low amateur of the year of the tournament. Sam Bennett. I did hear that his home course. I didn't catch what his home course was, but I did hear that it is definitely Augusta National is easier than his home course. And it's like, okay, well, we'll see you here next year, I guess, and I'll be the judge of that. What speaking of, I don't. He shot a set. He opens up with a pair of 68, shoots a 76 and a 74. So yeah, I mean that's kind of DeChambeau-esque, I would say. Averages 75 on the weekend. So, but good for him. Got to sit in Butler's cabin. And beside defending champion Scottie Scheffler, ex-defending champion, I guess, or at the time, new champion, recently donned the green jacket, Jon Rahm. But what an awkward exit that was. It was like, oh, here's our low am of the year. And it's like, and okay. You know, it's like they kind of grab the hook and they like, get at it. You're out of here, kid. Get out of here. We got to let the Spaniard talk, man. Kid. He just he defeated the LIV Tour. I mean, we got to crown this guy.
Exactly. Very odd comments from Sam Bennett about like the home course, whatever course he was talking about being hard, and that Augusta wasn't that hard. And the comments after he posted that were, oh boy, here we go, here comes a 75, and there you go. But this guy's on a quick path to Gary Playerville when it comes to Augusta and the welcome and response.
Speaking of Gary Playerville. I don't think Sandy Lyle's getting an invite back, by the way. I think he had announced prior to that this was his last tournament. And he was a non-competing past champion, by the way, that was playing. Yeah, non-competing. You can go back to Sam Bennett, but what about Tiger Woods? Is this the last major Masters tournament that we see Tiger Woods compete in? I don't even know if he didn't really, he was entered as a competitor, but I don't know that I know he didn't compete.
Well, we were taking a peek earlier about where the Open is this year, and it's over there in the old UK, which he's won before. So has Rory. And I think he tees it up. I don't think now, how many more times do we have to see what we just saw in order for him to say, okay, I'm not competing anymore?
So the weather was crazy, and for those of you that have either been to the Masters or you live on the same latitude line as Atlanta / Augusta, the weather can be absolutely crazy in 1st of April, and that's exactly what it was this year. I mean, we had days that was approaching 90, and the sun was just full on, and it was hot as hell. You probably saw. Tiger sweating his ass off on Friday, or maybe it was Thursday, and then Thursday, yeah, and then Friday, not so much. Later in the afternoon, I mean, we're talking a swing of probably 30, maybe 40 degrees. I mean, down with the wind chill for sure, it was in the 40s. But I mean, it was, and just, piss and rain and not good conditions. And I think that's why we saw a WD from Tiger on Saturday, that no chance to probably to make the cut. And he didn't look good, man. He looked bad. He looked bad. Looked really bad. And I'm not saying swing wise. I'm just saying him getting from tee to, like him physically walking from tee to green did not look good.
Well, we were saying a while ago that he's looking better and the leg's getting better, looking stronger. It did not look that way this time. It looked like it's getting worse. Yeah.
You think we see him at the Open?
I'm concerned.
You think we see him at the PGA Championship or the U.S. Open?
I don't think so. I think we see him at the Open.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's the next place that we see him at. But I don't know. Who else? Did we talk about missed cuts? I don't know. I got other things I got to talk about, but did we talk about who?
Well, hold on. You? So highest TV ratings in 5 years. Obviously, LIV and PGA Tour coming together. A lot of eyeballs on it. Great for the patrons, great for spectators, great for the TV audience. Phil the Thrill out there doing this thing with Jordan. Who do you think won that? Do you think Phil won that day, or you think Jordan won that
what
day?
do you think?
What do you think they were betting on?
Well, I don't know. I would say that it was four figures. I don't know if that was going to be a hole or a stroke, but I would say it was four figures easily. And so think about this. Phil Mickelson goes out on Sunday and shoots a 65. I think Phil Mickelson is the old, no, maybe that's Fred Couples. It was the oldest. Fred Couples was the oldest player to make a cut at the Masters. But nevertheless, Phil Mickelson goes out, shoots a 65, paired with Jordan Spieth, goes out and shoots a 66. And both of them kind of charging, man. I mean, they had shit rounds on Saturday, which everybody teed off later in the afternoon because they had to carry over the second round to Saturday morning. And they shoot 75, 76. I mean, there was a point in time that I was thinking, man, if Rahm stumbles just a little bit, Spieth might actually get there. He didn't, obviously, but yeah, I was wanting to see that. I'm glad to see him do good, man. I mean, it's the patrons couldn't have been more hospitable to the LIV players. I didn't hear any here's what I did hear some kid or some guy. he like yelled at I think it was Phil that made the putt on 18. I was watching him on Friday, I want to say. And Phil makes the putt on 18 and some kid's like, yeah. And the security guy came over and he goes, son, this is Augusta. This ain't the Waste Management Championship. Ooh, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Shut him down, man. And the kid was not yelling in like a bad way. Now he had definitely had plenty to drink. But he was definitely being loud, and he was kind of the only one, right? He did stand out. That wasn't me, by the way. It was somebody else, and allegedly. But yeah, he did come over and ask him to hold it down. Tell him this is not the Waste Management. We're in a different place.
So how many people do you think Augusta kicks out every tournament?
Well, I can tell you who they didn't kick out this year.
You.
I don't know.
Allegedly
it was me. I don't know. I did see a lot of folks that we know there. Who do we see? We saw Tyler, and who we saw PD. He was there. A lot of folks. Allegedly, if there were members at Sweetens Cove, I saw several members of Sweetens there. I did see Peyton. He was on a golf cart cruising by. Yeah. He was cruising. He had his green jacket on. He's a member there, obviously, and he was driving by in a golf cart. So he didn't. I think there were so many people around. He didn't recognize me, so he didn't know to stop. Mm-hmm. That's yeah. I should have been up on the hill a little bit. It's kind of hidden by the crowd. So, yeah, I don't know.
Travis Kelce,
huh? Travis Kelce for sure. Got to chat with him for a bit. A lot of folks I won't mention because I saw them, but I didn't get to interact with them just because, I mean, dude, the crowd was crazy. I mean, it was, I'm looking to see how many people get kicked out, by the way. How many people get kicked out of Augusta? If my picture pops up, shit, we're screwed.
Favorite food this time while you're doing that?
I mean, it was the pimento cheese. I did have a lot of the egg salad though, but I'll say that it was the pimento cheese. I mean, of course it was the beer. But no, but sandwich, it was the pimento cheese. So here's something. So you mentioned this earlier, and here's something that's very interesting. Interesting. It's it's not going to tell me how many people get kicked out of the Masters.
I bet they don't publish it. Yeah.
That's called a lawsuit, and you're taking that shit down. I didn't see anyone specific. I did see a couple guys get caught shoplifting. And they definitely they got escorted out of the main golf shop. Yeah, that definitely saw that. Also, not me, allegedly. Here's the thing. So I was like absent on social media last week, right? I mean, I was spending 10, maybe 12 hours a day at the course, and obviously on course, no cell phone. There are some people that have cell phones there. They're not using them for the purposes that I'm going to be using them for. So no cell phones allowed. And you could have brought a camera, which I guess I could have brought a camera. I didn't want to screw around. I wanted to enjoy what I was there for. And, Augusta National, they allow Apple Watches or iWatches, even if they have cellular connection. I think you mentioned you saw it. What did you see it in? The Journal or
Wall Street Journal? Yeah, I read about it last week. After you left, I read about it. I think it was like it came out Friday or something. It was like, oh, the Augusta, and had like a big couple pages about Augusta, and they said the hack is the Apple Watch.
You could have sent me one of those, by the way. Yeah, just saying, I would have ordered a positive COVID test, but I may have come up with one on my own. So you never know.
I should have sent you one.
Yeah, you could have sent an iWatch down. That would have been handy. And I definitely saw people walking around with those, but I don't know if you can take a picture. I don't have one. I'm an automatic kind of guy. Who, by the way, a lot of people liked our show we did when we were talking about these watches.
Did they?
Watches,
really?
Watches. Oh, yeah,
really?
A lot of people like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the next time I go, I got to get an Apple Watch. That way, I can get kicked out for using my watch instead of bootlegging my phone through the gate, through security.
So do you think they're going to allow it? Because there's a big article in the Wall Street Journal about it, right? The hack. I wonder if they outlaw them next year.
Who's chief C-level at Apple that's a member at Augusta?
I don't know.
So, I mean, I think that's the answer. And I'm sure there's other, I guess, watches, right? I mean, you probably Garmin community. I don't wear an electronic watch, so I don't know who else makes them. But I would imagine Samsung and who I'd say Garmin, probably a lot of other people wears one. You mentioned Travis Kelce, and we're talking about watches. So talking to him, the Casio, like the old, it's in Haranik's book, A Man and His Watch. It's the, it wasn't the same exact one, but the Casio like calculator watch that had the little calculator on the face. Yeah. So Kelce is wearing one of those, except it looks like it's in a gold bracelet. Now, I didn't want to be that guy and like, hey, but it looked like it looked almost like it was custom in that they had taken the Casio, the body of the watch itself and integrated it into like a gold casing and then a gold bracelet. It was sharp looking. Yeah. Like, I don't know how you type on that at this point, but.
So do you think that the trees falling, that not having phones actually save people's lives or injuries?
I can tell you this: you haven't been to an event. If you haven't been to Augusta in the past, pick how many years. You haven't ever, I guess, since cell phones have been in creation. You haven't seen that many people in one place not staring at their cell phone. You'd be surprised how many people weren't bumping into somebody because they had their head down into their phone doing whatever they were doing. Yeah. So maybe, I mean, that was a very fortunate occurrence, I guess, in that those trees didn't fall on anybody because there were definitely people around them. And a lot of people said, hey, kind of what's going on? How did that happen? And it's, I don't know how 50, 60 feet tall. I mean, those pine trees, they got shallow roots. They as they grow, they get kind of weaker and the wind was definitely blowing. Lucky is what I can say, man. I mean, they definitely, I would expect that it would have hit somebody, but it didn't. And at least allegedly it didn't fall on anybody. There were definitely people around it, but I wasn't there when it fell, luckily, but I think it's, what do you think they did after that? I didn't see because everybody was gone. But I know the tree was gone the next day. They had everything cleaned up, and it was I don't know if you were really known that anything had occurred. How do you think they tested the rest of the trees? You think they got people out there like pushing them, or they've got like something tied up to the top, pulling to see what's going to break? I mean, as crazy as they do things there, it's like, I don't know. I guess the wind didn't really blow after that. Not like it was when that occurred, but I don't know. It's a weird event.
Oh, they did something for sure. Yeah, there's something. They got sub-air under all the pines now.
Yeah, well, they told everybody to go drop their green sandwich bags over by where the tree fell. That way, it covered up the impression that the trees left. So that they say that's why the bags are green, the sandwich bags. That's why they're supposedly, allegedly, that's why they're green.
Allegedly. They looked for all the wobbling pines, and they decided where they're going to put the live locker room.
Ooh, I'm so surprised, man, that actually happened. What about the Brooks penalty? Did you see that? The penalty that didn't happen.
They do that. I mean, you got a live guy giving a PGA guy a tip. You're going to penalize him from that?
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, right? So I'm kind of like, I mean, who knows if they did it or they didn't do it? There was no audio, I guess, allegedly, which I can't believe they couldn't have found audio if they wanted it. Circumstantial evidence, I think guilty as charged. But everybody said no, and no. They made a big deal out of he thought who did he give the sign? It wasn't Lowry. Who did he give it to? You remember? Oh, Gary Woodland. Right. So, and Woodland was, Woodland said he thought he was 10 yards ahead. If he would have set a 5, he wouldn't have hit a 6, or would have hit a 6. He was actually 20 yards ahead, so he definitely wouldn't hit a 5 if he told him it was a 5. So I don't know. I mean, good drama. I mean, it makes for a good story. But if you think those people aren't telling each other like what's happening on multiple holes lots of times, I would say you're 100% wrong. I mean, they're definitely talking to each other like that and sharing what's going on.
We don't know if there was any crime committed on the course, but there is an indictment coming on hush money from Gary Woodland and Brooks Koepka in the coming weeks.
Augusta National made a ruling, and I guess whatever they say goes, right? That's that's the voice of reason. I mean, they are the new the R&A. I mean, they dictate what goes on in the golf world as much as the PGA Tour would like to say they dictate what goes on. That is not necessarily the case.
So you said that everybody was chumming it up with Phil out there. Now I heard on several podcasts and news media over the last week that Phil didn't say a word at the Champions Dinner. That
I wasn't there, but allegedly that was the case. He sat down at the end by himself and he ate and was just there as a past 3-time champion, I believe. And ate and left, which I think, what's he gonna say? Yeah. But I mean, everybody, I mean, look at he and Spieth on Sunday, man, and they were having a big time out there.
Yeah.
So
now,
go ahead.
So I was listening to Dave Chang talk with Bill Simmons, and you and I talked about the Scottie Scheffler, Scottie style Champions Dinner.
Oh yeah.
Chang called it a Ruby Tuesday dinner.
Ooh. That's a Ruby Tuesday, Applebee's. I mean, it's
that's what he called it.
Somebody asked me, they're like, "Oh, what did you do for dinner last night?" And it's like, well, there wasn't a lot of options that you didn't wait 2 or 3 hours in line. I'm like, bonefish was right there, so we went to the bonefish. And like, oh, bonefish, how was that? And I'm like, it's like the seafood, it's like the Applebee's of seafood restaurants. So yeah, I mean, Scottie Scheffler basically served the Applebee's of the Champions Dinner. I totally agree.
So what do we expect for Rambo next year?
Well, he's a Spaniard. What did Sergio, he served? I think Sergio had a salad and like lobster rice and tres leches cake. That's a famous chef. I forget his name, but he's in a famous Spanish chef. He's the He's the Boulay of the Spanish chef world. Yeah. I think Rahm is probably gonna go. I think it's gonna be like a big tapas menu. I think he's gonna go tapas. He does live in Scottsdale now, so he could throw a little kind of Tex-Mex flair in there. I could see him going, maybe it's big. I think it's going to be like a ham. I think he's going with some kind of, like we're going to have olives. We've got a little vermouth going on, aperitivo. We got a little Rioja, a little Spanish red. So I think that's I think it's going to be, and I think he's going to go. I think a steak and maybe a fish, a little surf and turf kind of thing.
Vamos, I love it. That's good.
Working on your Spanish since I'm glad to see him. We have him on the show. You guys can just do it all in Spanish.
Who is the world's most famous Spaniard right now?
Isn't Rafa? Isn't Rafa? Yeah. Rafa, I get now. I'm not into opera. I don't really watch any Spanish movies. What about Antonio Banderas? Is he Spanish? Is he from Spain?
I think so. Yeah, I think he is.
I thought he might be too. Maybe he's not, but I think it would be Rafa. I think tennis is a more widely recognized sport than golf. I know that may be a bold statement, but
maybe not. Well, it definitely a global sport,
international.
Yeah. And Rafa's been at the top of the game for longer, right? He's been there probably 15 years. So Rahm may overtake him if he keeps winning majors. But right now, with just 2 majors, I guess you're probably right. Rafa's probably holding the belt for that. Yeah.
I think he may be the most famous Spanish golfer of all time, even today. I mean, I don't like Sergio. Does anybody know who Sergio is? I mean, here's the one thing I don't think the Masters and allowing live players to play, I don't think it helps LIV's ratings. I don't think anybody is like, oh my God, I got to go watch Koepka. I got to go watch DJ. I got to go watch Phil. I think if you're, I haven't watched much of it. I don't think you've watched much of it, not by intent necessarily, just because I got other things to do. And I prioritize the PGA just because that's, I don't know, familiarity. It's what I know. But I don't think it's going to push people to go and watch the LIV Tour unless the majors get reduced down to 54 holes. Because if it were only 54 holes, Brooks Koepka would have been your Masters champion.
It's true. I was listening to Mike Francesa last week. The go to Sports Talk Radio, right? Yeah. Best ever. And he's a big golf fan. He had Chambly on Friday morning.
Okay.
And then he was talking recap the other day. I like listening to him. He said that he's never watched the LIV event, that the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour need each other, and that his overall golf viewership is down about 50% ever since LIV happened. It's just not as fun without the other guys there.
Oh, dude. I mean, you can take Cantlay. There's a handful of players that I could say, just take them on with you and give me back Koepka. Give me Bryson. I'll take Bryson back. Who else is kind of out there that's
take Phil back, get Phil back.
Yeah, give me I mean, you say that. Phil's old, man. He looked good though. I mean, Bryson looked like he had lost a lot of weight. Phil looked like he was in better shape. I'm not that Bryson didn't look like he was in shape, but Taylor Gooch, you can keep him on the LIV Tour. Don't nobody cares. Oh, Cam Smith, give me Cam Smith back. I want Cam Smith back. I want bring the mullet back to the PGA Tour. And who can you have? You can have Tyrrell Hatton. You can have. So here's a good. The fourth best player in the world right now. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I do. Three letter name. First name.
Starts with a Max and ends with a Homa. I saw no Elijah Craig anywhere on his. And he is still on their website, but Elijah Craig is not on any. So I'm wondering. So Elijah Craig obviously wasn't it wasn't the hood sponsor, the marquee sponsor of Max Homa, right?
No.
If you're a NASCAR fan, what wasn't the hood sponsor? And the hood sponsor dictates whatever else you're going to be wearing on your on your door panels, on your fenders, on your wherever you're going to stick it at, on your bumper. I guess whoever his title sponsor is, the hood sponsor, they said no booze on this side of the house, Sonny. Get that shit off of there. And
that's what Titleist and FootJoy, right?
I guess so, which I don't know what they would have any issue with it, but no Elijah Craig to be found.
Well, the fourth best player in the world. And we're picking on Max here because a lot of people have been hyping the shit out of him, and you and I have not been hyping the shit out of him. Okay.
Max Homa is a good player. Don't get me wrong.
He's a good player, but we also said he probably one of the top 3 beneficiaries of the LIV Tour's Max Homa.
Without a doubt.
And the big boys were back in town, and he retreated.
I think he got a little scared.
I think he did. He went back to Homeland.
Indeed he did. Who else had a good showing? Stallings finishes T26. So good to see Stallings showing up at Augusta. HV3 finishes T29. So interesting to see that. I thought Tommy Ladd would have had a better show of it. He did not at 33rd, solo 33rd. I don't know anybody else with that really.
Jason Day had a horrible Sunday. Oh my goodness! Yeah, brutal Sunday. Yeah, Then you got JT and the Golden Boy.
JT misses the cut. Allegedly, he's going to be playing, which we'll get into in a minute. He'll be playing at the RBC Heritage in Hilton Head, South Carolina this week. Rory McIlroy was signed up. He was committed to play the Heritage this week. He has since withdrawn. Will Zalatoris shows up to Augusta, withdraw WDs, and then has back surgery on Saturday. I'm not a professional athlete, obviously. Definitely not a professional golfer for those of you that have played golf with me. I don't think you really get that kind of back surgery scheduled just randomly on a Saturday is what I don't think. I don't think that happens. Right. I think that was already planned. And I mean, I guess he did it so he could show up and do, you don't want to say your WD and then you got to show up to your sponsors events or, the glad handing, whatever your commitments are. That's not possible, right? You can't do that because you're just going to get drilled with questions. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think is Willie Z done? Is it because he had back surgery last year? He competed. Where did Fitzpatrick win? He won the U.S. Open, I guess. Is that what Fitzpatrick won last year?
Yeah.
Because JT won the PGA. Yeah. So wins the U.S. Open. I think that's what Willsey was competing in. It could have been the PGA. Either way, he was competing.
No, it was the U.S. Open.
Okay. Open, yeah. So I don't know, man. He's young. That's I guess what the best news is. But that's a lot of consistent injury. That same issue, same area that could be troublesome for one young Willie Z.
Could be troublesome for the PGA Tour because according to Brooksy, that would be prime live picking right there.
Oh, he should have already taken that. I mean, they offered him 130, 140 million at inception, and he turned it down. He might be kicking himself in the ass right now for not taking that $130 million deal or whatever the number was. That could be a bit of he may want a mulligan on that. How about that?
Yeah. So the PGA Tour with these elevated events, they have to play in 99% of them. They get to miss like one, right? Who had the bright idea to make one after the Masters? The week after the Masters. This is usually an exhale week.
So we will get into the RBC Heritage. I don't know, and I don't know how good of an idea it was to do that because, you wind up with folks like, so Rory, this is his second one that he's missed. I mean, I think the Heritage is a great tournament. I think
Sure.
I think everybody knows the course, right? Everybody recognizes the lighthouse.
Yep.
2020 was probably Pete Dye, right? And the 2020 was probably the biggest field that they had. I mean, this was one of the first tournaments coming back from the COVID layoff, and everybody showed up. Extremely limited audience. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that it makes sense. Well, here's a better way to look at it: does the RBC Heritage, does it get moved? Because I don't know if they can continue to have it during this tournament. Isn't this where Cam Smith was fishing at after he won the Masters?
Probably.
When he fishing off the dock of the bay out there.
Yeah. After he won the Players and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
He was fishing there. Runner up at the Masters or whatever he did. Yeah.
Runner up. Yeah. Sorry. So I don't know. I think it's 13 tournaments are elevated, by the way. And I don't think the majors count as an elevated tournament. They may, but I didn't think that they did. But they may. And we're halfway through the run. Halfway through.
So I thought it came out to like you had to play like 20-ish events if you were going to play all the elevated events and majors and all, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but the Golden Boy's he'll be fine. I guess there's 7, so maybe it's 17 designated if you include the majors and the playoff events, et cetera. So yeah. I don't know. How did our one and done do? Well, we'll get to one and done when we finish up the RBC. I think I had a decent week. I was excited coming out of Thursday.
Won. I think you won the one. I won
the week. I won the week. Chasing Daylight, the Chasing Daylight podcast, still chasing birdies and bourbon. That's for sure. I was excited coming into Friday. The round 2, I mean, Viktor Hovland is tied with Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka, did what I thought he was going to do. And then Javi shoots a 73, a 70, and a 74. So, all right. That's what you get. I finished T7. I'll take it. Best of the lot, I say.
Pretty good.
I think somebody may have had Rory McIlroy as their one and done. That did not work out so well.
It didn't work out too well. No. He was so hyped going in. Yeah.
Well, everybody's got to have a good hype man. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
What else we got for the Masters, man? I mean, I could go on and on and on, but then I'm going to keep drinking. I'm going to fall off the stool once I finally stumble my way back up here. I'm not going to be able to talk about the RBC and DraftKings. I had a pretty good week in DraftKings last week. Did hit a couple of top 20s. I did not have any money on Rahm as an outright. That's which I'm probably not going to have any money on Rahm this week as an outright because I don't know how interested Rahm is in playing the weekend at RBC Heritage.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see that. No, I think I'm good. I think we've covered everything about the Masters that we wanted to cover. Great week overall. Great ratings. Good, compelling tournament. Glad to see everybody getting along and. Hopefully we can see more of that and so less division because it's better for golf.
We will at the PGA Championship and the LIV hype, all the shit that everybody's talking about the hate mail that's coming across. It ain't happening, man. Those guys are. I don't want to say that they're friends, but they are friendly at work. I'll say that. So yeah, great event. I don't know. If you want to see me there next year, I'll be there Sunday through leaving Wednesday. Getting the hell out of town. All right. Let's take it to RBC Heritage, Harbour Town, Hilton Head, South Carolina. You ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we know already. Rory McIlroy, WD. Who else do we know of anybody else that's withdrawn? I wouldn't be surprised to see Jon Rahm withdraw from this thing. That would not surprise me whatsoever to see him not show up at Harbour Town Golf Links in Hilton Head, South Carolina. It's a par 71, Pete Dye design, 70, let's call it 200 yards tipped out. We're back on Bermuda greens. And I think this is course history. There's Matt Kuchar. I mean, he's a multiple time winner. I think he's won here twice. Jordan Spieth, defending champion. Let me give you a rundown, Danny. You ready?
Yep.
Jordan Spieth, 22. Stuart Sink, Webb Simpson. By the way, Webb Simpson won in 2020. That was the strongest field that the RBC Heritage has had to date. I think this is probably the second hardest in the year 2023. CT Pan, Satoshi Kodaira, Wesley Bryan, Brendan Grace, Jim Furyk, Matt Kuchar, Graham McDowell, Carl Pedersen, Snedeker's won here, Furyk again, Boo Weekley's won twice. So there's plenty. Stuart Sink again. They're multiple time champions at RBC Heritage, and this is, I'm gonna say, this is not necessarily. I don't know. It's gonna disadvantage the longer hitters, but it's definitely not gonna advantage them over the shorter hitters. So I think that's something to consider when we're taking a look at this. I think the field itself, yes, it's strong. I think they did a nice job of this. FantasyNational.com, by the way, they've already got Rory McIlroy out of here. He's not in the field.
Yeah, so did DraftKings. Yeah, DraftKings didn't put him in there either.
Well, nice work of being on top there, guys. Good work. I don't know if there's anything else to say about this thing you brought it up, and I don't know, having an elevated field after the fact. Is that really after the Masters? Is that a good idea? A lot of people are showing up that have probably only played here in 2020, if they played at all. So, I guess it's kind of working in the grand scheme of things. Nevertheless, a lot of podcasts out there talking about the RBC Heritage at Harbour Town. Go listen to them. I want to talk about who we're going to play this week, Dan. So let's go to FantasyNational.com. Let's look at the last 24 rounds, and let's start at the $9,000 and higher. Let's take the elite of the field, and of course, the highest priced players, the number one player in the world, and that is Jon Rahm, Scottie Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay, Collin Morikawa, Viktor Hovland. Who else? There's another one in there.
Hovland's not $10,000. He's $9,800.
Hovland drops to $9,800. Who are you? Are you playing anybody from the? So here you go. Jordan's a defending champion. Are you playing Jordan?
Said he was tired. Said he was worn out. I'm not playing Jordan. I don't think he had a long day with Phil on Sunday, a long tournament. I don't see him having the energy. And he also played he didn't play the Valero, did he? No. So.
He did not.
What about you? You playing him?
I'm not on Spieth this week. No, I think if I'm playing anybody in the $10,000 range, the elite field of golfers, I guess it's dumb to not play Jon Rahm. He's off the tees, the worst. That's his worst category, and he's ranked 23rd for the last 24 rounds. I'm playing Morikawa. I'm going to $10,000 at Morikawa if I'm playing anybody. Ball striking looks good. That's probably where I'm at. And ownership is going to be tough. Probably hard for me to swallow. But I think Cantlay, he's at 17. Morikawa's at 7, projected ownership at 17 as well. So, both of those guys at 17 and 17. I don't know. I guess if I'm going to go there and ownership aside, I might go Cantlay, man. That could be a play if I want to go. I don't know that I'm going to. For my main lineup, I don't know that I need to play anybody in the $10,000 range, because I think there's people below this that could absolutely win this tournament just as easily as anybody else up here.
Agreed. I agree.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anybody necessarily. So Spieth, that his comments about he's played a lot of golf, he's tired, it's been a big stretch. That scares me a little bit. Scottie Scheffler didn't have his best Masters finish. And I don't know, is there a little something in Scottie that wants to get that number one back? I don't know if winning this week gets him that. I think it probably depends on what Rahm does. But I don't know how much interest Rahm has in making it to the weekend either. I mean, he's got to be tired too, right? I mean, he's got to be wanting to celebrate the green jacket. I didn't see him on the Today Show. Good Morning America. Did you hear him on Stern today? I didn't hear him on Stern. So, I mean, he hadn't done the tour yet. So is this hey, I want to get out of here. And a lot of these guys are going to be showing up next week to play, where are they playing? In Louisiana. So, I mean, I think there's something to be said here. And yeah, I think Morikawa, probably it's Cantlay, but Morikawa is my second pick out of the 10,000 or better. So
let me read these off to you real quick. So here's some featured groups. So going off 755, Schauffele, Lowry, Tigala, 806, Homa, Fitzpatrick, Fowler, 817, Thomas, Hovland, Burns. And then on Friday for those spots, it's Cantlay, Morikawa, Connors, Scheffler, Simpson, Young, Rahm, Spieth, Scott.
So it'll be interesting to see what the weather's going to do. I think it looks pretty benign right now. But I mean, it's a coastal course, so that could change in a minute. And that would be something to look at getting closer to Thursday tee off. And, do you want to start to move some people? Do you want to pick some folks that are going to be in preferred fields, meaning that, they're going to be, they're not going to have to deal with any, or at least as much weather as anybody else. It doesn't look too bad right now. Last week at Augusta, it looked bad for the weekend, and it delivered. I mean, blowing trees down, nearly killing people. It was a real thing. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens this week. So I don't know if I think it's all weather dependent on who's coming out there. Who will be happy that there are no LIV Tour players there? You mentioned it a couple times, I think. Starts with an M and ends with an X.
Oh yeah, Maxi.
He could be back in action. $9,000.
He's back in a featured group. Oh yeah,
he's back in featured. Where are you going? $9,000, man. It's a small subset of individuals of which. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Hovland or Cam Young. I mean, that's a sneaky top 10 for Xander, right? At the Masters. And then Maxi's back in. He's a senior again.
He definitely is. He's upgraded himself now that everyone else is elected to fly private. He's moving to the front of the plane. I think I'm with you. I think Hovland, who ranks out 7th in the model around the green, that's always a challenge. I think it's going to be kind of the same thing we saw at Augusta this week. Not much of a problem. Ball striking looks really good on approach, and I think the same thing for Cam Young. So I think ranked at 7th and 16th, probably like those two guys the best. Finau, I don't know, man. I think for the little bit of decrease in ownership and generally speaking the same price, I'm probably off of Finau this week. He hasn't played great here, but yeah, I'm probably off Finau in the $9,000 range.
And you can go Max. I think Max will play well here. Approach second, the last 24 rounds in this field, model rank 3. I mean, he's been playing great when these types of fields. So
he played here in 2020, finished T41. I think there's plenty of folks that I'm playing outside of Max Homa. That's me. That's personal preference.
The last time Justin Thomas was this cheap, I think he won the tournament.
He won the tournament after the weekend that he missed the cut. That's correct. It was not the RBC Heritage, by the way, but you are correct. And I think JT, for me, I don't think I really care what his ownership gets to. I think he's a play.
Yeah, me too.
JT's history here: T35 in 22, T8 in 2020. 2020, the field was much, much stronger than it is this week.
It's true.
Drivers coming out of his hand, right? So he's going to be able to hit driving iron, long iron, 3-wood, whatever it may be. And around the green, strong, approach is strong. I think JT's a play 100% here for me. And after that, I don't know where else I'm going to go I do know where I'm going to go. Where are you going in the $8,000 range?
Probably Fitzpatrick. So he was 10th last week, 62nd in this model, but he plays great golf here. T21 off the tee, 120th on approach, 31st in putting. How does he play here though?
Missed the cut last year, T4, T14, T39, and T14. So generally speaking, I would say pretty good. Yeah. And he had some health issues early last year. So I think he's healthy. I'm going right below him. And
me too.
The three guys below him at $83, $82, and $8,100. Shane Lowry, T3, T9, missed cut, T3. Terrell Hatton, T26, T39, and T3. And Tony Fleetwood, by the way. Not to be confused with Tommy Finau. Tony Fleetwood, T10, miscut, and T25. I think he fares better here than he's going to at Augusta. I mean, approach looks good. Around the green is great. What did he finish? 33rd at the Masters, T3 at Valspar. I think this field looks more like a Valspar field than it does a Masters field. Golf course is completely different. I think that's a play, and that's probably where I stop at. I mean, I think those bottom three, that's kind of a hot spot. I think Tom Kim's going to be interesting, and he shoots, what did he finish his T16 at the Masters last week? And I mean, he won at Sedgefield. So, I mean, Tom Kim's played well at, Pete Dye courses, generally speaking, shorter course. So that could be interesting, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to spend a lot of time in the $8,000 range. I think I want to be in there's a lot of folks, man, that are $7,000 that look really, really good. Who do you like? Anybody else in the $8,000 range, or not like?
I think you hit them all. No, I like this range. I think we should start with Shane Lowry and Terrell and Tommy. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not against that. Okay, so let me throw a few names and tell me where we're going. Keegan Bradley, maybe. Corey Connors, also maybe.
Yes.
Russell Henley looked pretty damn good at Augusta. Matt Kuchar, multiple-time winner. Wyndham Clark. I mean, most of the time you're thinking about, this $7,000 range is, for me, I know you want to start in the $8,000 range. That may be a good thing, because I think we can finish in the $7,000 range, and I think we can make ourselves very unique in a lineup.
Bucky.
So 2 times in the past 3 years, and he's missed a cut both times.
Jeez.
I think we're looking at a completely different Bucky Fowler.
I agree.
Bucky Fowler.
Wyndham Clark.
He's made 4 out of the past 4 cuts that he's shown up here. I think Wyndham Clark, everybody thinks of Wyndham as B-dubs. He's a bomber. He plays well on where he can just get up and hammer the drive. I think we've got a different Wyndham Clark, man, and I think for sure that's a play.
Yep.
Corey Connors he's missed 3 of 4 cuts here. He was T9 and 21. I feel like this is a Corey Connors play. That's a lie. That's Russell Henley. Corey Connors is T12, T4, and T21, and then missed the previous 2 cuts. I think Corey Connors is a sneaky good play. I don't know if it's sneaky, but I think he's a play here for sure. What are we going to do with, what about these two guys? Matt Kuchar, great course history here. There's something to be said for course history. He's at $7,700. And Webb Simpson, great course history here. As mentioned previously, he won in 2020. Strongest field that the RBC Heritage has ever had. And that's Webb Simpson. What are we doing? Are we playing Cooch and we playing Simpson?
I think Cooch is a play. I'm not sure about Simpson. Valspar T7, not bad. I mean, he's been turning the tide, right? But I'm not loving Webb yet. Are you?
At 7% ownership, maybe. What's yeah, I mean, I don't know at that point. I mean, Hoagie hasn't played great here, just missed a cut at the Masters, finished T3 at the Players, which, you know, there's some course comp here. And maybe that's, maybe Hoagie's the look there at 8% ownership, 9% ownership versus Webb Simpson at 7. So,
yeah.
What's Adams got here?
1.9% projected ownership.
Yeah,
1.9.
That's
pretty damn.
Yeah, I see no play. What's he's finished? So T39 at Masters, 71, T31, 65,
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably a fade. Yeah. Taylor Montgomery's been playing really well. Don't think he hasn't played here before. Minwoo Lee, I don't know, is that somebody we go back to? Everybody was high on Minwoo Lee for the Masters based on what he did last year. No action, misses the cut. JT Poston, interesting. T8 or better in his last 4 outings here, 1 missed cut. So JT Poston could be an interesting play. He's at 12.5% ownership. That may be a lean there. Over Brian Harmon, over Adam Hadwin, Billy Ho. I mean, he's played decent here. I don't know that we've seen really anything out of Billy Horschel. I don't want to play him just because I don't want to watch and see what he's doing. That guy, he gets on my nerves so damn. God. Like you put Billy Ho and Patrick Cantlay in a team event together, or put them in the same pairing. It's like, gee, holy, put them at the tail end, man. Nobody wants to watch that crap.
What about Denny McCarthy?
Yeah, T56, T13, miscut T33. That could be. I mean, Matt McNeely, T26, T4, and T58.
Well, McCarthy was T13 at the Players, another Pete Dye kind of thing. I think he could play well here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not against McCarthy. I think that's probably good guidance there. I can go for that. I like Cam Davis, T3 and T25. Ben Martin, I think is interesting. T59 miscut and T55 back in 2018. Ben Martin's at $7,100. So that's finished T10 at Valero, T8 at Corrales Punta Cana, T45, T54, T5 at the Honda. Probably a similar field to half of his last 5 outings. Yeah, he got the week off. Didn't have to go wait in the line in Augusta, so he got the week off there. Who else in the $7,000 range is interesting here? Emiliano Grillo, no. Mac Hughes, Svensson, I don't know. I think he burned me a few weeks ago in a couple of lineups. Yeah, I'm good. You know who? Sam Stevens, $7,000. I talked a lot about him last week, and Sam Stevens at $7,000 finished second, I guess the week before, second at Valero, T3 at Corrales Punta Cana, missed a cut at the Valspar, T15 at in Puerto Rico. It looks like he loves these courses on the ocean, man.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. Yeah.
I mean, if it's what's his ownership look like for Sam Stevens?
6%.
6%, ranks 23rd in our model. Yeah, I think Sam Stevens is. I think he's a sneaky play.
I do too. All right, $6,000 range. Anybody down there you like?
I'm sure. I'm sure there is.
You going for the Todd father?
T26, T39, miscut in 2020, which the field, understandably so. Maybe if we need to go there, I'm not against that. Who else looks good in the $6,000 range? No, I'm off Willett this week, even though that could come back to bite me. I'm off CT Pan, previous champion here. No CT Pan. Michael
Stallings.
Thompson could be. I could see Stallings getting around here pretty good. I don't know what the Masters. Too. Yeah, I was following Stallings on his Instagram page, and looked like he was playing some putt with the kids, having a good time down in Hilton Head. So I don't know, after last week in Augusta, I don't know what that took out of him. I mean, he's in shape. That CrossFit, man, it'll get you there. So maybe some Stallings. Course history. I already mentioned his course history, by the way.
I don't think you did.
He's got a pair of miscuts, a pair of T48s, and a T55. So 22 and 21, which I guess we're probably seeing a different Stallings than we have, from this time last year. I would expect. He did not play the Masters last year. That's so, it could be something there. I mean, Michael Thompson, I mentioned him. That's an interesting play. I don't know. What's Michael Thompson done as of late? He can't be highly owned.
How much is he?
Michael Thompson, 67.
Oh, there he is. T39 Valero, T19 Valspar.
Yeah, so miscut last year, T42, T8, T10, T42. I don't know. Michael Thompson, a friend of the show, could be an interesting play. Lucas Glover, South Carolina guy, is Clemson boy. He that could be an interesting pull here. I mean, it's not real sexy, but he's made 4 out of his last 5 cuts here. T21 was his best finish, but at $6,600, I don't know that I need much more from him. What's Kevin Streelman? What's recent? What's course history? No, I got course history. What's his last finishes look like?
T46, T27, miscut, T50.
Looks kind of like his course history here. Miscut, T33, cut, T6, and T7. I don't think we're going to have to get down. What about Stuart Sink? Are we playing any Sink?
No, nothing but miscuts.
All right. No Sink. Let me see. Is there anybody else here? Satoshi Kodaira, previous champion. Probably not. I think we don't have to get this far. Jim Furyk missed 4 out of his last 5 cuts here. So that's multiple time champion. I don't know that there's anybody else down here that I'm just absolutely hung up on. Troy Merritt might be interesting at $6,200. T12 missed a cut in 21, T70 and T10. So you give him a lighter field, and I mean, he's T12 or better. T70 in 2020.
Yeah, Ches, tons of missed cuts, and then Valero, last term he played, T6. I don't know where.
Well, 2 missed cuts here, T74 and T28. I mean, there's probably worse choices. Probably worse choices. All right. Lineup it is.
So you want to start in the $7,000 range, right?
Man, I feel like it's so stacked, and I think we can get up into. I don't know that we need to go 10,000 and better, because a few of those guys scare me with some of their comments as much as they played. Hold on, I'm opting out of things over here unintentionally. I mean, intentionally.
You want to start with Wyndham Clark?
Yeah, I mean, I can work off memory while this thing's thinking about it. I think it's Wyndham. Is Bucky 7,000 or is he in the $8,000 range?
7,600. Yep.
Yeah, I think
Go
that's
Bucky.
a play, man. Yeah.
Did you want Siwoo as well, or no?
So, I mean, he is he's a die wizard, man. But I don't know about Siwoo. Hold on, I'm still catching up to you. You're moving so fast today. So we got Bucky at 76. We got Wyndham Clark at 76. We got $8,700 left. Where's Siwoo? 76. I mean, so what's Siwoo's ownership versus Justin Rose's ownership?
Siwoo is 11.7. Rose is 12.7.
Let's see. Let's see what the course history is for these guys. It's $77 and $7,600. Rose is T14. He played here in 2020. Siwoo Kim's T42, T33, a pair of missed cuts, and a second. I'd say we save the $7,600 and go with Siwoo.
Okay.
All right, we're at $9,000. We got 3 people left. 3 players left. You want to ease up into the $8,000 range?
We should go Lowry, right?
I think we can go 2 picks there. I think we can go Lowry, and at $8,900, man, I feel like JT is such a value. Missed the cut at the Masters. I feel like he's got something to prove. There you go. You at the top 3 that we have left. I'm good with any of them.
Who do you think is going to be? I think Morikawa didn't play Valero, right?
He did not. I don't know if either of these guys did.
I don't think any of them did. None of them did.
Masters players, and Masters players. And yeah, I mean, and looking at that's a crapshoot. Let's see what course history looks like.
Yeah, let's go by history. Yeah.
T20. Okay, so last year you got Morikawa. So Hovland's only played here in 2020, and he was T21. Last year, Morikawa was played here 3 times: T26, T7, T64. Cam Young played here last year, T3.
Oh, I think we go Cam Young.
Done.
$7,400.
Mark it a 0, Donnie.
All right, what else is going down?
One and done. I'm still leading.
Oh,
by the way, still
yes.
the leader of the pack, chasing daylight and the bot, still chasing me. Dan is moving up the leaderboard though.
Yeah,
for the one and done. You're sneaky, kind of good. How about that?
Yep.
We got to.
I'll take Lowry this week.
We got to open this up next year. By the way,
we do. We need to open it up.
Folks, so.
Yeah.
You're going to take Lowry. So I was torn about who I had played, and once I realized who I had played, I was thinking, is it going to be JT or is it going to be Cam Young? And it's going to be Cam Young. I don't think I played Cam Young, right?
I do not think so. Nope. Yeah. Nope. Oh, I need to go ahead and lock mine in right now too.
Cam Young for me.
Cam Young for you. All right. Lowry. Lowry.
I think Lowry's a great pick, man. Where else are you going to use him at?
Yeah.
Plenty of places I probably am going to use JT at, but Cam Young, I don't know. I feel like there's something happening there. I feel like we could be onto something. We'll find out.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
What else we got?
That's it, man. Good golf. Right in the middle of the season. Let's see. TV wise, still watching Rabbit Hole, which I know you watched a little bit of that, and then Succession, which is amazing.
I did watch a couple of Succession. I think there were replays though. I don't think I caught the new episodes, but I watched some parts of them in between passing out and not passing out. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, Rabbit Hole for me. Still recovering. I'll be this week. I'll be glad to see the end of it. Probably got a little golf scheduled at the end of the week. Maybe it sweetens in the next couple of weeks. So definitely got to reach out to a few guys and a few folks and let them know that I'm going to be there. And let's go tee it up, guys. And good luck at Hilton Head this week.